Hey everybody, Mr. Side Hustle here, coming with you with another video on side hustles. I got some comments on my page and I wanted to answer some questions that were put out there. I had a question from a follower that actually wanted to know how I got into this type of work. Basically, it started back in 2015. I know the side hustles have been out there for all of eons, and there's many of them out there. Yeah, they now call this the gig economy, and that is not part of the normal jobs that you find out there on the job market. But the side hustles have gotten bigger and bigger each and every year. I got into it back in 2015. My background is that I've been in the retail sector for 40 years of my career. I worked for two companies during that time. I had 20 years at one and 20 years at the other. I actually ran stores for these two particular companies. I was a general manager, store manager. I ran multiple stores. I was an area manager. And 2015 came along, and I started realizing that financial gain was starting to plateau in my career, meaning that there wasn't seeming to be a lot more up, and it was beginning to plateau off. So I decided to, because I wanted more financial freedom and I wanted more financial ability to do things. And so I started looking into side hustles. And at that point in time, it was very part-time. I was only probably doing it maybe a couple hours a week. I actually was making maybe a couple $100s a month. So it wasn't anything big. As I went along, though, over the next couple of years, I started getting into it a little bit more and a little bit more. Started perfecting some of the things that I did. And then about 2017, the company I worked for at that time actually were planning on closing my store. And they did have a spot for me at another location, and I could have continued doing what I was doing. But I really wanted to see and give this a try, as I saw over the last 2 years before that happened, that I was building the business and figured I could actually build it to even greater heights. So basically, I was making a decision at that time to try to stay on or break it off and do my own thing. And when you have to make a decision like that and you've done the same thing for many, many years, for me, 40 years, it's hard to make that decision. And I decided at that time that I was going to stay on. And I think a lot of that had to do with a little bit of fear of the future. So what happened, though, was after letting my boss know at that time that I was going to stay on and take the location they wanted me to take, after a night of sleeping on it and thinking about it, I realized that, nope, I do want to do this. I want to move on, and I want to build this business that I started and see what I could do beyond the current part-time hours I was putting in for it. So I called my supervisor back and basically told them I made a decision to go ahead and cut loose, and found out a couple days later that the mall that our store was in decided to extend our lease and continue negotiating on the lease, and my store wasn't going to close. And so basically I decided, well, okay, what was going to happen is they were going to close my store. I was going to get a severance. It was a quite hefty severance. It was over $30,000. So I decided, okay, so if I leave, I don't get that severance. And so I decided to stay on. So what happens is we move fast forward 2 years later, they did decide to close my store. I did decide to take the severance, and I moved on. And I've been doing this since 2019 now. So I've been in this full time for over 4 years. Every year I have built my business year over year. I am now currently making more than I did in my other job as a general manager of a store. So I know I've had some success in it. I've done last year over 4,500 locations versus 3,500 the year before. So you could see the growth as I continue to build the business. I do know that at some point in time, the business of my side hustles will also begin to plateau, and I will need to look at how to continue to build the business. And my YouTube channel that I'm beginning to start here is another avenue for me to continue to grow my business. And that's how we're taking this right now. So Any questions you might have, or if you're thinking about wanting to leave your current job and try to do something else, by all means, get me in the comments and I'll get back to you. By all means, we do want to drive our business here on the YouTube channel. And so if you could hit that subscribe button, if you can hit that follow or like button, depending upon what platform you're on, it'll help me drive business even further and bring more videos out to you guys. I want to get more interactive with the videos when I'm out in the field doing the side hustles, so you guys have an understanding of what it's like to do the side hustles and how involved you get with it. I find it to be very fun. Since I've been doing this now for 4 years, I have set my own schedules. I work when I want to work. If I feel like it's a day that the weather is bad, I'm going to stay home and not do it. I will have to play catch up later in the week, which is okay. The downside to this, though, is that, there obviously isn't, if you're in a full-time job, you probably have benefits, you probably have paid time off, that type of stuff. In a side hustle kind of economy, gig economy, it's different. You have to make that type of thing happen. So as an example, I put a little bit of money every week into a time off fund, and that powers time when I want to take off for vacations and a day here or a day there, so forth. So if you got any questions, by all means, leave them in the comments. Again, please smash that subscribe and smash that follow, smash that like. Help me out with building the business and bringing more videos to you. That's it for now. Mr. Side Hustle out.